everyone. Welcome to Royals at the Ranch for Thursday, January 27th, 2022. I am Lori with Behavior Education at Spirit Keeper Equine Sanctuary, and this is Pfethyr, one of our Royals at the Ranch. Pfethyr was hatched on August 15th, I think. Let's check her cage card and double check that I have that correct. This is her cage behind me, or her enclosure, her habitat, whatever you want to call it. Yes, I was correct. I tend to have all the snakes' birthdays memorized. She was hatched on August 15th, 2021, and she arrived here on October 6th, 2021. And you're going to get to see a video that I made with Pfethyr on December 9th, 2021, after she'd been here about 2 months. My Patreon community got to see this video the day that I made it, and I'm sharing it with you guys now as a way to introduce Pfethyr to you. When I went back and watched the video, I noticed that I said in the video that Pfethyr wasn't quite as outgoing as Romana or Pavlova or some of the other dark royals that were here at the ranch, and that has certainly changed. So she arrived here on October 6th, and I didn't actually make that video about her until December 9th, so she'd already been here 2 months when I made that video. And I explained in the video that she arrived and then almost immediately, while she was in quarantine, went into an ecdysis cycle, and I had to wait for her to get through that. So I just think it delayed her habituation and her process of adapting to life here. But once she shed and she got used to her quarantine tub and the space on the outside of her quarantine tub, she just became very, very outgoing. Really not too long after I made the video that you're about to see. She became so outgoing that I moved her into this 4x2x2 black box cages enclosure, and Sarek is in a 4x2x2 right above her, and they actually get along quite well. I have them out for exercise together sometimes. They share the exercise tent together sometimes. They're both pretty outgoing. None of the royals are as outgoing as Sarek, but she is a close second. She's even surpassed Romana and Pavlova in how much she wants to come out and how outgoing she is. She's eating very well. She's doing great with her training. She likes to explore. She's easy to handle. I wanted to just update you and let you know how she's doing now. She's doing fantastic. I'm really, really pleased with her. She came from P5P, which is P5 pythons. I haven't worked with them before, but she is a cinnamon blackhead leopard, possible orange dream, which doesn't really matter to me. I get the snakes first based on personality and based on the breeders and how respectful they are to me and seem to their animals and how well they work with me and our behavior program here. And then, of course, second or third, I pick out snakes that are attractive to me in their looks, but I do always ask behavior and personality questions first, because that is of utmost importance to me and what we do here. I always work with breeders who accommodate all of my behavior questions, all of my temperament and personality questions, who seem to care about their snakes' individual health and wellness and where the snakes are going. Let's just watch that video that I made introducing Pfethyr to my patrons. I'm going to share that with you tonight. Hi guys, so this is Pfethyr. She is another dark royal that I have, and she arrived here on October 6th, 2021 and was hatched on August 20th, 2021. So she is one of the group that I was able to get very young. She was about 6.5 weeks old when she arrived here, and I did put her directly into an environment that had a lot of cognitive complexity and environmental stimulation. However, unfortunately for her, she went into an ecdysis cycle as she was settling in. And so I didn't really interact with her at first doing a lot of choice-based handling opportunities. I just left her in her very complexly furnished quarantine tub and let her adjust, and then allowed her to go through her shed cycle and get her first couple of meals before I started giving her opportunities to come out on her own, which she does now do. She's out tonight. not because I took her out of her enclosure, but because she has been coming to the door and choosing to come out on her own and explore a little bit around the exterior of her habitat when I allow her to. And she's not quite as outgoing as Sarek or Romana, who right now I would have to say are my two most outgoing royals, because they're getting to where they want out a lot, and they will come out and explore not just right around their enclosure, but find their way up a wall, behind things, down onto the floor, and leave their room. I really think that Pfethyr is beautiful. You can see that she's dark. She is a blackhead leopard cinnamon. I don't really know her that well yet because I haven't interacted with her as much. She is in general a little bit more shy than Sarek or Romana or even Pavlova and Ahsoka, but as I said, she's just had less interaction with me than those others, and I'm sure that once she gets settled in, that she will become more outgoing, because she's been doing well on this activity tree back here, and she has been coming out of her enclosure by choice and roaming around right around the enclosure. And so then what I've been doing is, after she's done that for a few minutes, and I see that she starts to leave the area and maybe get down onto the floor or in an area where I'd rather she not be, then I just pick her up and I bring her in here and I put her on this activity station. And she is comfortable with this activity station. She will readily climb onto it. Now it's time to put her back. She's been out for a while already this evening, so she's ready to go back, and that's what I'm about to do. But she is comfortable enough out here that not only is she target training within her habitat and to the habitat threshold, but she's done 2 target training sessions on this activity station and eaten on this activity station, which tells me that she's comfortable and relaxed enough to do that activity away from her habitat. From what I've observed with Amun and Aminette, who I've been relatively hands-off with and just observing their behavior, they wake up at night from where they sleep all day and they move all the way to the other side of their enclosure, and they get in another cave hide on that side, or they hang up high off of a ledge or a perch. To get in their ambush position and hunt for food, and that's where they eat. And then after they eat and they're ready to rest for the day, they go back across to the other side of their enclosure and they sleep for the day. And I'm guessing that in the wild, snakes don't just wake up from where they're sleeping at and eat right there in their bed area or their den area. I'm sure that they leave their den, unless a prey item accidentally wanders in there. I'm sure they would take advantage of that. But I'm pretty sure they probably wake up, they leave their den, and they go to areas to hunt where they have previously been successful or where they're following a scent trail to. And then they get in an ambush position there, whether it's on the ground or up high. And then after they eat their meal, if they're successful, they go back to their den where they're safe and secure, and they sleep all day. And I see that under captive management, when given the opportunity, that the snakes will also do that. They don't generally just eat right where they wake up. They'll leave their ledge or shelf or perch or cave or hide or come out from underneath the dirt, and they'll go somewhere else in their habitat, or the ones that come out of their habitat will leave their habitat, and they will get into their hunting posture somewhere else. And readily eat there if I give them the opportunity, and then they go back into their living areas and they rest and digest. So I thought I'd share that speculation with you, and I thought I would give you a look at this beautiful girl Pfethyr. And her name is not spelled like a feather. It's spelled Pfethyr. I'm really, really pleased with her. She's just beautiful. And I'll give you more updates as she settles in more. Why are you climbing towards me instead of towards the camera where people can see your beautiful face? There you go. Thank you. Good girl, Feather. All right, you guys, I'm going to put her away. Thanks for watching. And Feather's not too happy with me because she wanted out of her enclosure. I let her out. And then I snatched her up to make the introduction to this video. And since she's gone back in, she looks like she's kind of pouting. She can come back out if she wants to. And I'm not going to grab her again. I'll let her roam around and explore. So we'll see what she decides to do. But I think she's not happy because when she first came out, she started crawling around the floor and I picked her up to make the video. I'm sorry, Feather. I'll leave you alone now. Well, I have my hands full of royals tonight. Not only did Feather want to come out, but Sarah wanted to come out and Amonette actually came out. And I've corralled them from their explorations in the room to tell you to always remember to be kind and love your animals.